We're doing this to us. It's the hardest thing to admit, is that we're the ones that are doing it to ourselves. We have to look in the mirror or open up your selfie mode on your phone, take a picture and look at it. That's the person that's responsible for your current condition. No one else. Take full accountability for it and start loving yourself. And when we do that, we get into a different frequency, and the whole planet will shift into that frequency when we get a certain number of people loving themselves the right way, and then the whole universe will shift. People think that they're doing this to us, and Trump is doing this to us, and Biden's doing this to us. No, it's all about, I got to love somebody. I got to love my relative. I got to love my spouse. I got to love my boyfriend or girlfriend. I got to love my kids. I got to love people. What about yourself? Have you taken time to love yourself? They've all been a part and in collusion with giving up their power. We have the power, and we always have had the power. The power is inside of us, but we've ignored that internal power, and we've given our power away to outside sources. And those outside sources have taken that power and they have wielded it against us. We have to admit and agree that, yes, we have allowed this, and I've allowed this. We have allowed this to happen to ourselves. Accountability. We have to take accountability for the situation that we have allowed ourselves to be put in globally. Once we can come to that realization that we have to understand that we have put ourselves in this position through collusion, through participating, then we have to say, well, what can we do about it? The first thing we can do is we can stop giving away our power and go to our inner space. Forget outer space. Let's go to inner space. Let's learn how to love ourselves. What I've seen, and even in the most recent situations that happen, even with myself, the biggest problem why people are so evil and so angry and so willing to attack and troll and everything else is because they don't love themselves. There is a lack of self-love in the world within a lot of people. Not everyone, but in billions of people, there's a lack of self-love. And it's something that doesn't cross a lot of people's minds. We take that for granted. And what does that look like? And what does it actually mean? Well, it means that you sit with yourself. A lot of people can't sit with themselves for more than a minute. They got to interact with something, someone. They call it being social. They're looking for a reason to distract themselves from themselves because they can't stand to be with themselves. That's because they don't have the self-love. And this is what's hurting the majority of the people on the planet right now, causing them to lash outward instead of going inward and fixing the internal problems. And the reason why people don't have the self-love is because their body is trying to protect itself from trauma. They have trauma in their body that has happened from the time they were born all the way up until whatever date or age they are at this exact moment. And they haven't addressed those traumas. They haven't done the shadow work. They haven't gone back to revisit those situations, to talk about them, discuss them, to bring them up, to analyze them and process them out of the body so that they can begin to then bring and open themselves up for love. See, if you're filled all the way to here with decades of trauma, there's no space for love. There's no space for self-love. You have to begin to do the work to drop the trauma, drop and process it out of the body and make space inside this vessel so that you can actually be open to receive your own love. And once you can do that and you can begin to forgive yourself for things that you may feel like you may have done wrong or been wronged or whatever, or forgive other people, now you're opening yourself up even more. And once you get to that point, now you're a vessel of light, and you can begin now to really, really connect with people in a totally different way because you've connected with yourself. You can begin to see people in a different way because you've seen yourself in a different way, and you can see yourself in others also, and you can have more empathy. Okay. And then once that happens, if people are doing this process, now we'll be able to see each other as brothers and sisters, not enemies and competition. We've been so programmed in this world right now today that everything is about competition over collaboration. In other words, the second people wake up, they're going to see, let me check this account and see if they got more followers than me. Let me check this account and see if they got more likes than me. How come this guy got more likes than me? How come this guy's getting more famous than me? How come they look like they got more money than me? It's this competition mindset that's destroying us because we have no self-love. And this causes and forces this outlashing. But once we can have the self-love, the competition mindset starts to die down. We shift into a mindset of collaboration. When we get into the collaboration mindset, now we're working in unity together. That brings in the unified mindset, the unified consciousness. And when we get into that mind, we can organize. And when we organize, we can take back control of this planet and live through our birthright. because we won't allow it anymore. And when we won't allow something as a group, as an organized group on the same frequency, it must stop. It will stop because it has to, because we're controlling what's happening to us, not the other way around.
I'm unstoppable. I'm a fortune with no breaks. I'm invincible. I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. I'm unstoppable today.